Throughout all of anime, trends come and they go. In the same way that the seasons pass, trends come, they go, and many times they come back after a period of time. This period is sometimes brief, sometimes this period is lengthier than the time it takes someone to finish reading a Type Moon visual novel. But there is one trend that never ended, and most assuredly, never will. A trend that's built into our very nature as human beings. A trend that was a key to our survival in ancient times, so ingrained into us that we had an unquenchable thirst for it. It was the very light in our lives, so much so that we could never imagine living without it. It's tits. And sometimes ass.
Oh my God!
Hello there.
Hey there. It's me again, Uncle
Niggers!
Alright, get the hell out. You can't just say shit like that. That's not allowed. God damn.
It's been quite a hot minute since I've actually uploaded a video that wasn't a cancerous meme in an endless ocean of cancerous memes. In between these memes, which are usually a product of my diseased cantankerous brain while I'm editing videos for Nuxtaku, I'm usually just masturbating. And if there's one time I'm always having an epiphany about why my life has turned to shit, it's when I'm hammering my salami like I'm in Super Smash Bros. To some thick whammin'.
Damn, boy!
But Kaiser, you may ask, where are you going with this? I'm glad you asked that, my pudgy, ugly little friends. If there's one thing that most people who watch anime, as in weebs, agree on, it's that sex sells. It sells a lot.
Great ass!
And we're all probably guilty of this. I myself have choked the chicken quite a few times while dropping the kids off at the pool. It's not uncommon. Well, maybe the part involving shitting into a toilet, but we've all taken the time out of our day to treat our private places to a 5-star meal involving our hands, some waifus, which then turns into a 1-star meal at McDonald's when you realize everything you just yeeted a few kids to was non-existent.
This needs to stop. Now!
But why do we spend so much time and effort into this? Why do we care so much about the idea of coming all over a plastic or fabric rendition of that big-tittied, or sometimes even flat-chested rendition?
The Earth is actually flat.
My nigga, you just got roasted! Yeah!
Of our favorite fictional cum dumpsters. What is it that inspires such voracious abuse of our precious meat sticks? To the point where
my left leg has went totally numb.
Well, let me take you back in time. Back to the very early ages of humanity. When we were still drawing our hentai on cave walls by smearing our own shit all over the place. Before the age of the first hentai. Before the age of the first tentacle porn ever produced in Japan. Before the age of the Viagra that your grandfather takes to keep it upright. When modern medicine was a fart in the wind from someone's mind, sexual desire was more of a necessity than you and your modern-day cum-stained bedsheets could even imagine. Some people would like to think that they're the absolute king of splurting their spunk, but back in the day, before any of us even existed, death was an absolute to the point that some of you couldn't even live past the age of 21. So D, sorry to say, but your ancestors wouldn't have even lived long enough to legally lose their young virgin minds' alcohol virginity. Well, if they lived in the States. But they sure as hell had a lot more sex than you or I or anyone else has. This, coupled with the high infant mortality rate, means that men and women had to be pro-wrestling their genitals in the bed sheets more often than videos are uploaded to YouTube. So nature pretty much said, alright dudes, you see these? These are fun bags. They're called tits. This is nature's natural airbag, called an ass. The better these look, the more fertile. And this, well, Mr. Bruce Campbell, this is your boomstick. So ram your pee holes together harder than a car going over 88 miles an hour with the bomb on it. Nature Sensei? Who am is Bruce Campbell? What is bomb? You don't need to know. So you better grow to like these things, as if your life depended on it. Or I might have to give you an early introduction to the bubonic plague to yeet your entire species from the fucking face of the planet. And give your jobs back to the dinosaurs. Did you not kill all dinosaurs? Fuck you, Steve. So you can probably see where a never-ending spunkfest into a woman's sperm dungeon was in high demand across the entire globe. No exceptions. Humans commonly committed the modern-day sin of rape, which is now only legal in hentai, just to keep nature happy and to keep the diseases from being able to pinpoint every human being on the planet for mass extinction. This is probably why cave wall versions of hentai and anime were so shit. You know, they didn't really feel the need to make sure that the art was all that great, because they weren't really that sexually repressed that they needed high-quality art for high-quality fap sessions. It's been a while, but we weren't always the dominant protagonists of this hentai we call Planet Earth. Please come inside me, daddy.
Give it a ballsy balls.
However, as humans evolved, the one thing we kept was that burning feeling in our blood that travels to our dicks. That electric current that runs from our bodies all the way down to the tiny fun button called a clitoris. Now, back to present day. Because of modern medicines, this need for constant banging became an outdated survival strategy. But because nature's always drunk and not paying attention, he kind of forgot to turn the on switch to off. So we still have this ferocious swirl of raw carnal desire flowing in our junk. And I'm not saying we all just go and rape people, but it was kind of a necessity back then. And it kind of translated over here kind of poorly. I mean, that's why your fucking wife left you for that other guy, and then left him for that other guy, and that other guy, and that other guy.
What the fuck?
But you know, anyways, we evolved as a society, so we decided that rape was a not so cash money way to kill time. Now you may be saying to yourselves in your basement with your Umaru Kigurumis, but Kaiser, why can't we all just be like Rape Go Hoka and legalize rape? Well, I don't know, guys. If it worked for hentai, why can't it work for real life? Because respecting women is outdated, that's why! High five, everybody! No? What? What? Joke wasn't all that funny? Well, fuck you too. But regardless, because we have this constant libido that can only be matched by the combined might of the entire bust size of every waifu in high school DD, causing us to confuse good tits and ass for good writing, and our lack of ability to just waltz outdoors and play a real-life version of Smash with any stranger we want, give or take a few differences due to different developers, we kind of have no way to let loose our never-ending urge to serve our entire planet and race by reproducing never-endingly. So in 1814, the great and powerful high IQ Japanese scientist Hokusai Katsushika, which, what the fuck kind of name is that? Is that like a fucking Fate Grand Order? Is that like a gender-bent Fate Grand Order character? Developed the first ever hentai. Or at least I think it was called hentai. What the fuck is this? Shunga? What the fuck is a shunga? Is that like some Japanese way to say sugar? Whatever. He created this work of art called The Dream of the Fisherman's Wife. This genius, who clearly time traveled in time to watch Rick and Morty to get this intelligent, basically created what you could argue may have been a catalyst for the trend of Japan having pornographic material for just about any fetish you can slap your master sword to. And you know, for a while, it was all well and good. You know, we just liked tits and ass, and we wanted to see things go in and out of other things. We jerked our meat sticks to a lot of fucked up shit. Some not so fucked up. Others we don't even talk about. And some things no one talks about that I still beat my meat to. We had a lot of different things for our fetishes thanks to that. And you know, this kind of bled over into other things, and eventually anime, you know, over time with how weird anime can get, even ecchi anime. And that was the status quo for a long time. Until Sigmund fucking Freud was like, hey, you know why we really like tits and ass? It ain't 'cause it's a sign of being fertile. It's cause you sucked your mama's tatas and we're like, damn, I think I'm in love. You fucking degenerates. So yeah, the hentai you saw where some demon-possessed lolly turned you into a girl, grew a dick, and fucked you in an orgy with a bunch of hairy ugly bastards with cocks several times the size and diameter of your wrist, could all be explained by some half-baked, obscure Freudian excuse thought up in Freud's basement while he was probably high on an untold amount of LSD and cocaine. So let's recap the possible objective, science-backed, and mentally deranged reason, or reasons you love tits and ass. Nature's kind of a dick. Good shapely tits and ass are a sign of I'm ready for the belly. Nature never stopped being a dick. Some thirsty ass Japanese dude wrote lemon fanfiction of life. And Sigmund fucking Freud gave some excuse for any and all fetishes, and we kind of all rolled with it, till we accepted it as truth, ingrained into our society. Now let's go over some reasons why genociding an entire nation's worth of babies in your balls to anime tits and ass is better than doing it to real life women. Not that there's anything wrong with real women, I'd still rape Sophia Vergara. Reason number 1. Anime girls are not real. Yes, you heard me. Your waifu in all her ecchi glory is fake as fuck. But don't worry, just because she's not real doesn't mean you have to feel that way. You can treat her as if she's as real as that boner you have in your pants. But what's great about her not being real is that she's basically like Play-Doh in the hands of your mind's cock. Something you can use to make her take the shape of your cock to your heart's content to match your every desire. Want a girlfriend that's 12 years old? Sure. Here's Eromanga Sensei. Want a girlfriend who's 12 years old but not an antisocial mental space case, and actually productive enough to clean your house for you? Here, watch To Love Ru. Got a hard-on for that lesbian who's a little too hot to be a real lesbian, but don't want her to convert to straight? Give her your cock and I guarantee anime will somehow justify the contradiction of her loving cock and somehow still being a carpet-munching freak who belongs in the trash. Want a waifu who will actually love you for who you are, and not how big your cock might be? What are you, fucking gay? That's never gonna happen. Kill your... Reason number 2. Have you seen the size of these things? That's right. Have you? Have you seen how big these fun bags are on these girls? Hell, your waifu could be 13 years old, but for some reason have jugs bigger than Sofia Vergara.
FBI should be knocking on his door any minute now.
She's got the size of your grandma's 34 double Ds touching the ground. Doesn't matter how young or old your waifu is, there's a waifu for every chest size, as well as every age, thus a waifu for every one of your uncircumcised smegma-covered weeaboo katanas. This kind of plays into reason number 1 as well. Because she's not real, she can have any chest size that your tiny peanut-sized lizard brain can think of. This is why hentai dojins of your favorite waifus exist. Hell, she could be as flat as a board in the show, but her dojin counterpart just suddenly injected some bull shark steroids into her chest, causing them to grow a few cups in size. So yeah, have you seen the size of these things? Or the thighs of these things? Woof. I have, and woo lord, am I a fucking degenerate. And finally, reason number 3, because I'm tired of this and haven't masturbated in the last 10 minutes. Drum roll, please. It pisses off snowflakes.
I wrote a blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate
Anime.
because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
Male fantasy?